Throughout the last century, most of the countries of South America struggled to set up representative democratic governments, often in the face of powerful foreign interference. In Chile, the popular elected government was overthrown by the army in 1973 and a military dictator installed. The president was killed and thousands of his supporters imprisoned or executed. Following a general amnesty a few years later, many of those who survived were allowed to leave Chile and settled as refugees in Europe and Australia. As so often happens, the new regime tried to ban all indigenous music and instruments. But the music of the Andes became a powerful symbol of resistance and a way of preserving the memory of those who disappeared. After the Second World War, the British government divided the Indian subcontinent in such a way that most Muslims who lived largely in the north would finish up with their own country, Pakistan. This was itself divided into two parts, East and West Pakistan, separated by the northern part of India. This was a very impractical arrangement and ignored the unity of Bengali culture, dominant also in northwest India, which has nothing to do with religion. Resentment simmered for years and finally came to a head when attempts were made to suppress the Bengali language. A bitter civil war led to the birth of Bangladesh as a separate nation in 1973. Before the Second World War, virtually every European country had a stake in Africa. But after the war, they gradually granted independence to their former colonies. Portugal was slower than most in disbanding its empire and faced determined insurgents in all its African colonies. The wars dragged on, requiring young men to serve 4 years in the armed forces, sapping the country of its resources, and forcing large numbers of musicians, artists, and intellectuals into exile. Eventually, in 1974, in a bloodless revolution, the army itself overthrew the dictatorship at home, established free elections, and halted the colonial wars.